Hello Man United fans. You are welcome to the home of Manchester United Daily News. Premier League is accused of neglecting fans after Manchester United had 2 games rearranged at times when it will be impossible to travel home by train, with the club's supporters trust claiming that matchgoers are nobody's priority. The Premier League and broadcasters have been accused of neglecting match-going fans after they scheduled 2 of Manchester United's away games in May at times when it is impossible for visiting supporters to travel home by train. United's rearranged match at Brighton will be played on Thursday, May 4 at 8 p.m. before they take on West Ham at the London Stadium on Sunday, May 7 at 7 p.m., the day after the coronation of King Charles. Supporters heading to the 2 games face travel chaos as there are no trains back to Manchester after the Brighton match, and the last one home from London after the West Ham clash is at 9:49 p.m., meaning fans would have to leave early in order to catch it. While the Brighton game was always likely to be in midweek due to United's congested fixture list, the decision to move the trip to West Ham to a Sunday evening has sparked anger among supporters. It is the second time Erik ten Hag's side have been switched to the Sunday 7 p.m. kickoff slot this season. A spokesperson for the Manchester United Supporters Trust told Sportsmail, "Only 3 years ago we were told that football without fans is nothing. These decisions show how quickly the football authorities forget. The match-going fan appears to be nobody's priority in the scheduling of games. The coronation is set to heap further misery on fans at matches over that weekend, with thousands expected in London to celebrate the historic occasion." In a statement on Friday, the Premier League apologised for the delay in announcing their broadcast selections for the coronation weekend and said they understood the frustration of fans. Finalising these particular selections took longer than expected due to complications around the scheduling on the weekend of the coronation of His Majesty the King and Her Majesty the Queen Consort, the Premier League added. Raphael Varane reveals the 2 clubs that he would be willing to leave Man United for, but admits it is a likely outcome that he retires at Old Trafford. Raphael Varane has revealed the 2 clubs that he could potentially leave Manchester United for in the future. The French defender, who retired from international duty last month, has been an integral figure within Erik ten Hag's Manchester United side this season, after having a turbulent spell in his first season in England. His Premier League appearances have helped solidify a position within the top 4 and played the full 90 minutes for their 2-0 Carabao Cup final win over Newcastle. The World Cup winner looks to have finally settled at Old Trafford, but that could potentially be changing after Varane admitted that he may look to retire elsewhere. Speaking to GQ magazine, Varane said, "I will finish my career either in Madrid, or in Manchester, or in Lens. I will not move to another club other than those. But Madrid seems complicated to me. Players don't usually go back there. The most likely outcome today is that I will finish my club career in either Manchester or Lens." Varane secured a £42 million move to Old Trafford from Real Madrid in July 2021, having spent 10 years at the Santiago Bernabeu. The French defender had a glittering career in Spain and won La Liga 3 times, the Champions League 4 times and the Club World Cup 4 times. Prior to that, he had come through the academy at French side RC Lens and spent 1 year there playing in their first team before moving to Madrid in 2011. He's made 56 appearances in all competitions for the Red Devils and admitted, in the same interview, that he's been feeling the impact from recent fixture congestion. "Recent seasons have always finished later and started earlier. We didn't have time to work physically, and when we weren't playing we only had time for recovery. You can do this for a few seasons, but after a while you either crash, or you are unrecognizable from the player you were for 6 months or a year in the field, or you get injured. That's what happens to all great players, and that's what I want to avoid." Varane made similar admissions last month when he called an end to his international career, which France boss Didier Deschamps admitted he is disappointed by. Why Manchester United defender Luke Shaw is still with England squad despite being suspended. England manager Gareth Southgate praised Luke Shaw for epitomising the spirit of the group, after the Manchester United defender stayed with the squad to train despite being suspended for the game against Ukraine. Shaw was sent off during the win against Italy on Thursday night, picking up 2 bookings in less than a minute late on in Naples, and he will now miss Sunday's European Championship qualifier at Wembley. But rather than packing his bags and leaving the camp, Shaw remained with the England setup despite being unavailable for selection. He trained with his teammates at Spurs Lodge on Saturday, helping to make up the numbers after the withdrawal of Chelsea right-back Reece James. "Luke loves being with us and wants to contribute where he can," Southgate said. "He's helped us in training today and I think he epitomizes the spirit of the group. That togetherness and commitment is hugely important." Southgate has decided against calling up replacements for Shaw and James and explained his decision to stick with the original group. "We've been training with this group all week, so to call someone from outside the group would potentially be quite complicated because we have no idea where they might be or what their training load has been over the past few days," he said. "So if we were going to do that at this point we would do it with the under-21s, but they've got a game today and we think we've just got enough to get through tomorrow's game." Wout Weghorst opens up on Erik ten Hag motivation. Wout Weghorst has admitted he has been able to make the most of his shock move to Manchester United because fellow striker Anthony Martial is injury-prone. The Dutchman has started all 18 games since Erik ten Hag was able to seal a deal to cut short the loan he had agreed with Turkish club Besiktas following Burnley's relegation from the Premier League last year. Weghorst was under no illusions about the task he faced to get regular football in United's team. But Martial's inability to keep himself fully fit has meant the 6'6" forward has become ten Hag's go-to guy. Weghorst said, "All ten Hag said was that he needed a striker who could fit into his way of playing. He certainly did not paint the picture as it is now. Anthony Martial was his striker and he was doing fine, but he is injury-prone and the manager wanted all positions double-staffed. That's what I came for. But ten Hag did say clearly, it is up to you. You can force things and the best one plays. My dream has always been to get the most out of my career. To tap my ceiling. It makes me incredibly proud and happy." While Martial's ongoing fitness issues have put his United future in doubt, Weghorst prides himself on his physical and mental condition. He is obsessive about nutrition and has been training so hard that he is much lighter than he was during his time in Turkey. Weghorst said, "My physique is like a house and has been all through my career. But I have never had an injury and never even had to miss a single match. It's bizarre, really. What I always say. A lot is also determined in the head. At this level, you can no longer start every game fully recovered. So it also requires a lot of mental strength and mental resilience." Weghorst has shown his flexibility by often dropping into a number 10 role behind Marcus Rashford as ten Hag has looked to make the most of his tireless work ethic. The Holland international hasn't always made friends throughout his career with his obsessive desire to get to the top. But it was one of the reasons why ten Hag felt he could be a success at Old Trafford. Weghorst said, "The manager told me at halftime in the away game at Fulham that he was considering the option of playing me as a 10, behind Rashford. He told me just to take his plan into account because ten Hag is a manager who places a lot of value on task-conscious play. The manager then told me I had to do my share of defensive work in the role. I am a team player, so I replied, that's no problem at all, bosses." But the Dutchman admits his lack of goals is a concern. He has scored just twice for United since his arrival in January and added, "Sometimes I think I am doing really well, but then I remember I am still only on 2 goals. That's also how everyone looks at football. I try to teach my children to look at other aspects than just goals, and that works for me as well. I prefer to look at what is positive. When I scored my first goal at Nottingham Forest, I said in an interview I can't wait for my first goal in a home game in front of our fans. That took another few games, but it was a big moment for me. You only experience how big United is when you are part of it. This is an absolute top club, with all the attention from the outside. You have to find a way to deal with it, but I managed to be myself even in this environment." Manchester United fans think they have found their new free kick specialist. Marcel Sabitzer produced a stunning display to help Austria get their Euro 2024 qualifying campaign off to a good start on Friday night, beating Azerbaijan 4-1 in Linz. Sabitzer, who joined Manchester United on loan from Bayern Munich for the remainder of the season at the end of the January transfer window, scored twice, including a stunning free kick, and grabbed an assist to wrap up a comfortable victory for Ralf Rangnick's side. He swept the ball home for the game's opening goal after 27 minutes, connecting with Christoph Baumgartner's cutback, before smashing home an unstoppable free kick just 5 minutes after halftime to make it 3-0. It was an impressive showing from the United loanee, who scored his first goal for the Reds against Fulham in the FA Cup last weekend. Sabitzer was deployed in the number 10 position against Azerbaijan, enabling him to pull the strings and dictate the game. He bossed proceedings, and that was highlighted by his 2 goals and his assist for Baumgartner to get on the scoresheet and net Austria's 4th goal of the evening. Although his overall performance was encouraging to say the least, earning deserved plaudits from the natives and United supporters watching from afar, it was his sensational free kick from 25 yards that flew into the top corner that generated the most attention, and deservedly so. It was a stunning hit that any player would have been proud of. Unsurprisingly, United supporters quickly took to social media to praise the 29-year-old strike, calling for him to become the Reds' new set-piece taker. They also waxed lyrical about his general showing and Rangnick's ability to get more out of him. Man United defender Raphael Varane bids emotional farewell after France international retirement. Manchester United's Raphael Varane bid farewell to international duty on Friday night at the Stade de France. Varane, 29, announced he'd taken the decision to retire from international football last month, and he was paraded on the pitch, alongside Hugo Lloris, Blaise Matuidi and Steve Mandanda, before France's match against the Netherlands. The defender made his France debut in 2013 and enjoyed close to a decade of service for Les Bleus. He won the World Cup in Russia in 2018 and made a total of 93 appearances for his country, some of which he wore the captain's armband in. However, Varane has struggled with injury in recent seasons, and his retirement from international football allows him to prioritize United, whilst also giving him more time with his family and his 2 young children, Ruben and Anaïs. France defeated the Netherlands 4-0 in the match, and Varane expressed thanks for his nation's support after the game. "Thank you so much for the amazing welcome," Varane wrote on social media. "What an honor to be able to close this wonderful chapter of my career in this way. Even in my wildest dreams I couldn't have imagined all this. There are no words strong enough to describe my love for the France team. I was always proud to represent my country. I've been blessed to wear this beautiful shirt for 10 years. Gave it my all, from the first game to the last. I went through all the emotions. Ups and downs, with of course as a highlight, the World Cup. Through it all, I have always felt your support and encouragement. Today I am simply happy and proud to have been part of this journey. I am committed to continuing this beautiful legacy we built, together, through at Generation.2018. I would always be behind our French team. Thank you." This is the roundup of today's news. Here, you get the latest news on Manchester United. If you are new here, consider subscribing. Please, share the video to other Manchester United fans. Thank you for watching.